You can start it.
All right, bet. Talk.
Let's get it. Let's get it. So you mute IG start in muting after 20 minutes?
Yep.
Got you.
Yep. You got it.
Good. Let's get it. Let's get it. Where's my tablet?
Vibes is here. What is up, y'all? What's up, y'all? We're gonna let y'all jump on in this joint funnel on in. Please don't forget, y'all. We are live on YouTube. We need y'all to be live on YouTube. Go live on the tube. Go
Let's
live.
get it. Let's get it.
Don't forget, y'all, we live on YouTube. Listen, we're going to be off this jump in a little bit. We're going to be off this in a little bit. We only going to be over here for a couple minutes, y'all. We want y'all to funnel over to the YouTube channel. This one, Instagram is not going to get a lot of my face today. Y'all going to get some of it, but you ain't going to get a whole bunch of it. What's going on, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all?
What's good?
I hope y'all enjoying yourselves. Y'all having a good time.
Let's go. Let's see. Are you getting the echo, bro?
No, I'm not. Are you? I turned mine all the way down.
Yeah. No, I need to turn. I'm trying to turn my
Yeah.
For some reason IG will not let me turn my volume like completely down. But it's all good. No, we in here like swimwear. We done had there was a couple things in that chat.
There definitely was. Definitely was. Whit, what's going on? Appreciate you jumping over here. Nay, what's up? Appreciate you jumping over here. Ali, what's going on? See you jumping over here. Start a QA or a poll. Ooh, we can do a Q&A on here too. Elevate me. What is going on, Chantel? What's up?
We about to have some fun. Hey, bro, how about I was out buying dog food the other day and I had the hoodie on. Somebody was like, yo, that hoodie fire. I was like, oh, you right at backpackjeff.com. It got a bunch of different colors. He was like, oh, these was hard.
You know what I'm saying? Go get you a backpack bear, cuz.
Gotta get you a backpack bear.
Go get you the backpack bear. What's going on, y'all? What's up? Hey, listen, man. We want all of y'all to come over to the YouTube channel. Come over to the YouTube channel.
Come on. Look at Cookie being on time.
Cookie being on time. She on the wrong platform.
Right. We live on YouTube. We live on YouTube.
We live on the tube, y'all. All right, man. Let's start it, yo. Tell me something good, man. What's going on? What you winning at, bro? What's happening?
Bro, after like 2 months of trying to get these lights in on my car, I finally was able to get my lights in. So that means lights is taken care of, batteries is taken care of. Because what I didn't know that my car had 2 batteries. It has regular battery and auxiliary battery. Got those taken care of. All the lights on the dashboard is off, so I can get my inspection, pass inspection. So I ain't gonna be out here riding dirty. That's great. Been really hustling with these lives. Merch coming. Been staying in contact with the people from Ebony Fit Weekend. So that's a lot of motivation and a lot of opportunity for next year. They're about to release their dates for next year. So my goal is to have a table with merch, at least 2 of the Ebony Fit Weeks. I was going to go for 1, but I'm the Atlanta and Houston one, the 2 biggest ones. That's the goal, is to have tables there. You know what I'm saying? Extremely dope. I got reached out to by a male body butter company. They do like male skincare and stuff. They were like, well, we want to promote your product, or we want you to promote our product, and blah blah. We'll send it to you for free. And I'm like, all right, so what's y'all budget like? So they actually came with a number.
Come on now.
So we getting all that lined up and taken care of, and they're gonna ship out the product too. So it's starting to feel like the being on the grind is starting to pay off a little bit. We got a ways to go, but it's getting there.
Being on the grind is definitely gonna pay off, man. It always does, yo. Hey, listen, if y'all want us to promote, we're gonna start getting sponsors for Let's Talk About It Tuesday. So if y'all want to promote, you want us to promote something that you got going on right here on Let's Talk About It Tuesday, we can do that. Tamika Clark, what's up? Storm CEO, I see you in the building. I see you. So this week, man, it's been a great week. So I'm stay-at-home dad in it now. So me and Bree, we did a little switch now. So she's going to work. I'm staying at home with baby Hefe. Yesterday was an amazing day because I was able to get in contact with like 8 different schools, man. Speak to them, send them my stuff, set up appointments. I set up another meeting tomorrow for a juvenile detention center. I have so I'll be going out there to do my speech, and then I'll also be going out there to do my programming, which is super fire. So I got that meeting tomorrow. He was just like, hey, with all of the names that you mentioned already, man, you know what I'm saying? You don't got to sell me no more. It's just about when. You know what I'm saying? When is
right.
So, right. Jazzy Bell, what's going on? And then yesterday too, man, I was sending out a bunch of emails and stuff like that yesterday. Got a hit back from one of the charter schools because somebody hit me to the charter schools and was like, hey, that charter school budget a little different than that that public school budget. And I was like, word?
Yeah.
And like, yeah. So I'm like, all right, let me reach out to the charter schools. So I reached out to the charter schools, got a great response back from them, and it was absolutely fire. They already set up the date. I'm like, y'all want to do
cheers to that.
They said, nah, we want you December 22nd. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I'm here then. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. So yeah, man. So that was that was super dope. What else, man? What else? Had a great meeting this morning. One of the big contracts that I was that I was locked in for at one of the schools, man, they are they're ready. We're setting up. They're going to send me the dates that we're going to start in January. They're going to send me those dates by Thursday. So that's going to be down. What's up, Latrice? Hey, remember, y'all, that's on YouTube. If you want the link, all you got to do, send me a DM. I'm going to send you the link so y'all can jump in. Remember, we can have more than one person. We can have more than 2 people on live with us right here on YouTube, y'all. So we want y'all to come in. We're gonna place a Q&A. It's gonna be in the chat as well over here on YouTube, man. We're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff for y'all, yo. We're gonna make this joint as dope as we possibly can. I'm gonna get me a YouTube soundboard so we can, you know what I'm saying? Bing, bing. Hell yeah. All right, man. So look, so one of the things that we got on tap, man, and I'm gonna post this question right now in YouTube. Want y'all to answer this. What y'all think? How much do you need in order to be happy? Study shows that millennials need $525,000 a year to be happy. Millennials need $525,000 a year to be happy. How y'all feel about this? Is this true? What y'all thinking?
Man, I'm not gonna say $500,000 a year wouldn't make me happy, but you know what I'm saying. If you're attaching your happiness to a monetary value or a number, then it's probably not gonna work because you're gonna get that and see something else you want. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get that and see another tier, and once you get used to something, a lot of times nowadays when people get used to something, it no longer makes them happy. Like I remember when we was younger, we used to see people who had money with like old school Chevys, or man, if somebody had like a Camaro or Charge, like you was doing the thing. Like you had money if you had those type of cars. Now people have having cars talking about like, oh yeah, I'm saying like this ain't nothing. Like I'm trying to get this Tesla. People in the Tesla like, oh, this ain't nothing. I'm trying to get this Beamer. People in Beamers like, oh, this is nothing. I'm trying to get this Ferrari. People in Ferraris want Lambos. Like if your happiness is dictated by how much you have, and like in a monetary sense, it's not gonna last. It's temporary. You're right. Yeah, I mean, so I understand it, but I don't think it's true.
So when I thought about the number, right? It made me think the type of house that I want, the type of cars that I want, how often I want to travel, the amount of kids that I want, what I want for my kids in terms of school, education, information, resources, things. 525,000 sounds about right. 525,000 sounds about right. Like I agree. And the thing of it is that when you think about it in the terms of, okay, you want 525,000 and you want you think about the taxes of it, 225,000 of that is gone. Okay, you'll never see it. And so when I think about that, that's 200. Let's call it 200,000. 200,000. Let's call it 300,000. Let's call it 300,000. That's what, 16? That's 24. That's about $24,000, $25,000 a month. $25,000 a month is not a lot of money. It's a lot of money if you've never had it. I don't have it right now. But when I think about the things that I desire, $25,000 a month can go really quickly, particularly if you have a mortgage. Let's say if your mortgage is $5,000 on $1 million home, 5,000 of that is already gone. You're already down to 20,000. You got a car, she got a car, y'all got a family car. $500 each, that family car, because you're gonna get the Suburban, the XL, you're gonna get the Cadillac Escalade, you know what I'm saying, ESV, you're gonna get the big boy, the Yukon Denali XL. That's $1,000 a month right there, plus your car, her car. You ain't getting nothing cheap, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be a $500, $600, $700 a month payment. That's another $2,200 right there. You already $7,200 in the hole right there off of just your house.
I would call that 10, because I mean, you think about it, you got, not only do you have
insurance,
when it comes to cars, exactly. You got insurance, you got repairs, you got, you know what I'm saying, maintenance,
electricity, Wi-Fi, cable, streaming services.
Man. You're already looking at $10,000 a month right there. Just cars and house. Now you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, how much you shopping, how much you going on, how often you going on vacations. If you got tuition for your kids, let's say house, cars, tuition for the kids, each one of the kids costs $1,500 a month for tuition. Or if they in daycare, each one of the kids, we want 4 kids. You talking about each one of the kids costs $2,000 a month for daycare. 2,000 times 4, 8,000. We already at $18,000 a month.
I'm saying $1 million, a million a year, because even half of that's supposed to be going. Because there was something that we had talked about the other day where you were listening to something and he said, imagine if my child came to me and they wanted something and I couldn't give it to them because I didn't have like the $7,000 or something right then and there. You also have to factor in those things. If your kids are in those type of programs and with the tuition that you're paying, they're going to be afforded a lot of different opportunities. They're going to cost thousands of dollars. So you have to give yourself some cushion for that type of room. And to be able just to be comfortable. Now, comfortable looks different for everybody, but everything we just described, I'm going to say 12 for the house and the cars, just to give you some cushion, because we know AC breaks, HVAC breaks. Then you also have to factor in if you would like staff, like housekeeping. I don't want to clean. I'm not saying I won't. I just don't want to. Thinking about if you're in $1 million home, that's a lot of house to clean. And you have kids, you're running your businesses, whether you're here in and out, like that's a lot. And to think about your wellness and the health of your family, I would like to add a chef into that. Just things that I would desire to take something off my plate, because I'm in the mindset of buying back my time so I can spend more time with my family. Those things cost. So 25,000 a month is nothing. We have staff and everything else to pay for.
I agree. So look, so people are asking, where do you DM? Put your Instagram name right now in the chat on YouTube. We're looking at it, we're watching it, and what we're going to do is we're going to go and send you the link on your Instagram. All right, we're going to send you the link on your Instagram. So Storm, looks like you wanted to hop in. Also looks like who's that? Angel wanted to hop in. Angel, I sent you the link already. Storm, I am sending you the link right now. So both of y'all should have that. Y'all should be able to jump in and give y'all thoughts and y'all opinions on that. While they're jumping in on that, we're gonna move on to this next one. So this was something that we talked about briefly. Something that we talked about briefly before regarding, opening doors and stuff like that. But I think it gives a little bit of a different perspective. So listen, if y'all want the link, all you got to do is send me a DM right now. We are live on YouTube. All right. We only got 2 more minutes and then we're going to be live on, we need y'all to come live on YouTube. If y'all want to hear the audio. For everybody that's on Instagram, we need y'all to come over to the YouTube channel. Y'all come over to the YouTube channel, come to Backpack Jeff to the YouTube channel so we can get this joint popping. All right. Let's go. Let's get.
I love this new format. It's so cool.
We working on some things.
And when I opened the door, my man was at my front door, and I was like, "Oh, right." And then he hit me with the Rizzo. He pulled the flowers out, and I was like, "Wow, this is different, right?" So I'm not even paying attention. I brush past it, trying to walk down the steps and get to the door, right? Because I'm not paying attention. I'm just so not used to it, and it just hasn't. Like I just didn't have a lot of practice. He opened my car door. I get inside. He closed the door. I immediately went to my group chat. It's weird. Did you say you opened her car door? High five. Now, let me explain, right? Let me explain. By the time we got to the restaurant, my follow-up text was, y'all, that's my bad. I just realized, and all that stuff we be talking about, we don't really want it. And I felt like he technically did everything that we be saying we be wanting. In my mind, instinctively, my first thought was, he corny. But he really did everything that we want. But I went on a first date.
All right. So are people afraid of the things that they say they want?
Yes.
Elaborate.
I think they're afraid of it because they don't know what to do with it. Like if you dropped $1 million in a homeless man's lap, like I don't think he would know what to do. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people have an idea of what a good man or good woman is, and they get them, and because they don't necessarily know how to handle it, it's foreign, it's scary. Like put me in a Lambo. I would love to have one, but put me in a Lambo. I'm gonna be scared to drive that thing.
Man, spaceship, so many buttons. I'm gonna be like,
bruh.
You
know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be in a rocket ship. What does red button do?
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like there's I think I was listening to somebody talk about like they got to be in a Bugatti, and there's a specific car, and don't quote me on this because this was a story. I don't know if it's true or not, but he was saying once you hit a certain speed, there's another key that you have to turn to unlock like another part of the engine. And when you turn that key, it alerts your insurance company. You know what I'm saying? Like this car is so advanced. Yeah, like there's a car that they built in China that can jump, like jump off the ground. If you got a flat tire, the suspension is so good it can ride on 3 wheels. Like it'll just shift to the point that it does. You know what I'm saying? Like these are type of things. It's like if I was in this car, I wouldn't know how to drive it. Don't ask me if I want it for sure. Bring that to the crib. But as far as knowing what to do with it, I wouldn't know. So I think when it comes to a good man or good woman, and we have this idea of what it would feel like to be loved by this person that we want, we often forget what it takes to reciprocate that to a person.
Yeah, babe. Come here quick. I want to see if you remember something. What's up, Storm? I want to see if you remember
Can y'all hear me?
We went and looked at this
Yeah.
one house, and in the garage there were 2 cars.
Yeah.
You remember what type of cars they were?
One of them is a Lamborghini, I think a Lamborghini.
The other one was the same exact thing, just in a different color.
Yeah, it sure was. It was his and hers, right?
We went to this house and saw this house.
Yeah.
And the whole house was empty. There was 2 cars in the garage, 2 Lambos, his and hers.
Yeah.
We looked at them up. It was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like it, yo, crazy. I think that people are afraid of what they say they want, and in the sense of it's foreign to them because you know you want it, but then when you get it, sometimes you don't know how to receive it. And that's why I think receiving gifts is so difficult for some people as well, because it's like, yo, he just gave me flowers. He just opened my door. He met me at my door. Why are you so close to my door? Why are you like, what's happening? What's going on? Like I wrote a line in a poem about domestic violence, and it was like, and I said something to the effect of like, you know, you should have bubble baths for you after a long day, home cooked meals when you get home, massages before you go to bed. But how could you miss what you never had? How could you miss what you never had? So I definitely think that on some level, people are afraid of what they never had, and it becomes weird, and you become a quote unquote simp as a man. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing these things, like the small things that most men don't do now.
Yeah,
I don't call you a simp. I don't think that's a simp at all.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a simp.
My boyfriend and I, like this past weekend, we went on a date, and for me, he gets upset like if I like not upset is not the right word, but he's just always looking at me crazy because I just be like, oh my god, this is so romantical. This be so nice. Thank you.
Romantical.
I always want to make sure, like, you know, SpongeBob. I always want to make sure that I show my appreciation. But we went to go see a movie, but there was nobody else in the theater. That's something that I had never experienced before. But I always want, like, for me, I always want to make sure that I'm showing love by, like, you know, words of affirmation, because that's one of his love languages. And he's always looking at me like, you know, you always kind of like just are overly happy. But I'm like, can a bitch just be happy? Can sis just be happy? And he's like, no, you
listen. I'm gonna tell you this. Men, after a while, we may play like, man, you still ain't used to this. We love it. We love hearing it. Hey, look, I'm telling you, we and Jeff, we talked about this. Talked about it Tuesday, like the appreciation, like shit. If a man take the trash out and you be like, babe, I like the way you take that. I like the way you hold them bags. He might be like, girl, you stupid. He gonna get outside and be like, yeah.
Okay. I see them triceps when you hold the bag. You see me, babe. I was doing them dips earlier. Sure.
Yeah, I will be a hype woman. Trust me, I will be a hype woman. Especially when you gotta help me. Oh no, I will be a hype woman. But to me, it's just like, we had a pivotal moment in our relationship, I want to say about a few months ago, where it was he had to express to me what it was that he needed, and I had to listen. Like, what I need sometimes when I need my solitude or things of that nature isn't exactly what he needed. And he was just like, I'm not going anywhere. You can like chill. It's okay. And I had to be the one to be like, okay, I guess I do have to chill. But I didn't realize that was my trauma from my past showing up in a way that I was giving him what I thought he needed, but not listening to what he actually needed from me. And that's a learning point. But that's also, I think, the part that comes with communicating with your partner. Because even as I was listening to like the clip that Jeff showed, I was just like, she's silly. And I mean, like, but we've all have been in a moment where either we were back in our phases and said like what we thought we wanted, or like what it was that the idealistic thing, but you don't really know what you want until like you get it. And sometimes from your past, you can figure out what you don't want. But when you start getting something good, it's okay to accept things, but that's also a reflection of I think personally where you are in your life. If you can't accept gifts, if you can't accept compliments, like if you can just say thank you, and there's nothing else afterwards, there's no over explanation, there's nothing else with it. Just say thank you. It shows, I think, a little bit where you are within your self-love journey. For me.
And that, you know what, I can really resonate that, because I was at a show with Jeff, and he said something to me while we were, I think he said it to like, this was while we was getting gas, and he was like, I've been working on just accepting compliments, because you know what I'm saying, like usually with guys, you know what I'm saying, and this is every guy's response, it's just like, hey bro, I see you doing a thing. No, I'm just trying to be like you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an immediate compliment, like ping pong. It's like, you shot that at me, nope, I gotta hit it right back.
Right.
And it's just like, sometimes you got to be able to say thank you and accept it. You know what I'm saying? Because like he also said something that stuck with me. It was like, if you can't accept the little things that God gives you, why would he ever give you anything big?
Big facts.
And that really stuck. Bro, I thank you for that, Jim, because that stuck with me. But I applaud you too, because there's not a lot of women who can have that self-actualization to where if their man says, hey, you know what, this is what I need, most women get in their feelings. They're like, oh, so you're telling me I'm wrong? Oh, I'm not doing what I'm doing is not enough, as opposed to being like, well, I mean, I'm just saying, eventually you got there to the point where it's just like, all right, you know what, this is what he like. He's not saying that he doesn't like what I do. He's saying, but he's saying, but this is what I need you to do.
Right.
It's like, I may like chicken, but if I ask you to cook me pizza and you bring me chicken, it's just like, I like chicken, but I wanted pizza, babe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And trust me, I've smacked my fair share of hands for women reaching for doors. You know what I mean? But it's one thing when somebody appreciates it and understands it. It means the world to a man.
It's that whole thing of what men say versus what women hear.
Mm-hmm.
You say, I want pizza. She hears, he's hungry. So whatever it is that I cook, he should be okay with it. No, he said, remember, we were talking about it a long time ago. We were talking about, a man will say, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just chilling. And if he spends every single day with that woman, they hang out, they go to the movies, they go eat, they play games, they do video games, they do all those things until that man says, I'm looking for a relationship. Y'all can spend all the time in the world together. Nothing has changed because he still said, I'm not looking for a relationship, and you have to take him at his word. When he wants a relationship, just like he said, I'm not looking for one, he'll say, I'm looking for one. I'm either looking for one in you or I'm looking for one in someone else. But until then, just enjoy the ride.
I think in that sense, because I've been in that type of situation, before BC, before Clark, that the expectations were not communicated, but we were still doing a couple things, and that statement may have not directly came out. But I think it's also very important that you communicate the expectations and what is it that you guys are going to be doing, because people, whether men or women, everybody gets their feelings hurt when y'all doing shit and you're also being involved in another type of intimacy, but you still ain't got no title on this yet. And then next thing you know, you see somebody else in their face, and it's just like, we ain't no relationship. It just comes off also too disrespectful, even though it's like, oh yeah, we ain't no relationship. It should still be communicated. That's what comes with the communication for me.
And you can't get in your if you go into it going, okay, I hear what you say. The minute that, and you have to be honest with yourself, the minute you start to get in your feelings, that's a conversation. This is my brother, but I would be like, Mike, okay, I know you said this, but we are going to the movies. We're doing all this. We're leaning on the couch. We're falling asleep with our heads on each other's shoulder and stuff like that. And I'm starting to feel away. And we have to be comfortable enough to say, I'm starting to feel something. I need to check back in with you. We also have to be okay. If he says, no, I'm still chilling. Then you make a decision. Yeah, you make a decision.
Right. No, but don't get me wrong. I can 100% appreciate a woman who continues to check in. Like, I've actually dealt with that before, and she was very, very brave, because she was coming from a place that did not allow her to be safe. And I was like, well, I mean, I want this to be a safe space, just be honest. And for the most part, she was very, very upfront, and it made me, in a sense, almost reconsider, like, should I be in a relationship with this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I never like got there to be like, all right, cool. This is what I feel. This is what I want to vocalize. But the fact that she was mature enough to vocalize that and be okay with whatever I said was a huge green flag for me.
I
I
love
love that green flag. Leave it to Fiji to come up in here looking like the photographer that she is with the red
background
and everything.
It's orange. Y'all gotta come over and get y'all shots done.
Yeah.
Not until you get done with the work you got.
Wait, I gotta come there. I thought you were coming here. Well, I can come.
I am coming there.
Okay.
We gotta talk. I need to go buy a new card before the end of this week.
That's what she said.
Gotta go buy a new car.
We'll talk about that later.
All right. All right. So before we get into one of the other new subjects that we had in the chat, let's talk about surviving Diddy and the whole fiasco mess that is happening. First off, right, New York puts in this new law that says, and I don't know the law verbatim, I'm going to paraphrase, if you will, but it just says that people can now come forward, doesn't matter the years, about sexual assault, sex trafficking, any type of sexual.
Wait, did they pass that law already? Because I know that Cassie was coming forward because that statute of limitations was about to end.
Yeah,
I think my wife did too.
Maryland just added a similar law as well, which is why the Catholic Church is suing the state of Maryland with the statute of limitations.
I'm not gonna say that.
So
Catholic Church, go sit down.
yeah, Maryland added a similar law as well about the statute of limitations being eliminated and people can actually come forward. Because Bill Cosby also too has just been accused all over again as well.
So how do y'all feel? Like, should a person have to pay for something that they did 10, 20, 30 years ago if they're a productive citizen now and not doing those same things?
In some way, shape, or form. It's just like in schools, Jeff, restorative justice. Instead of suspending a lot of the kids, they're doing other things to say, okay, you did this, and this is what you're going to do. You're not going to spend time at home sitting on the couch because that's not being productive. You're not doing any homework. You're missing classwork and stuff like that. I think in some way, yes, because you did it.
Right. I agree with that. I think that it should always be open to you speaking and suing or coming forward. But I do still think there should be a statute of limitations on like damages. You know what I'm saying? Because if you had a run-in with somebody 30 years ago and you've been living your life and you cool, and now you see this person is coming up or somebody else can step forward and you see that they're getting money, you coming out of the woodworks. And don't get me wrong, I never want to sound like I'm blaming the victim, because it's never the victim's fault. But I do think that people do certain things just as a money grab. And I feel like if you're not willing to go tooth and nail when it happened or whenever you come out of it, like mentally, and not to say that there's a time limit on healing, because there isn't. But you know what I'm saying? Like Jeff said, if something happens and this person didn't change their ways, this person's living a life, yeah, come out, say they might have. I say they got to do classes. If it's bad enough, do some jail time. You know what I'm saying? If it's, you know what I mean? If there's something that can deal with like either punishment or rehabilitation, cool. But as far as personal gain, I feel like it's a very slippery slope, because a lot of people like to play victim to gain money. You know what I mean? And that puts a lot of people who might have misconstrued a situation like, oh, well, I thought we were getting close and we started something and then she wanted to stop and I stopped. And now she's claiming, you know what I'm saying, sexual assault. You know what I mean? Like it's a very, very slippery slope as soon as money gets involved. Because everybody is if the number is big enough, everybody will say that the situation was the worst they've ever been through. You know what I mean?
I remember Diddy coming to my house one day.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? People will be like, "Oh, well, I shook Diddy's hand. He gave me a hug, but then he grabbed my ass."
You know what I'm saying?
Well, why you ain't say nothing then?
Oh
You
no.
see what I'm saying? Like,
He want me to do that thing so I can get into the Biggie movie, but he ain't. Never mind. Fiji, what you got? What's up?
I think that even if he had to like touch your ass like the same day, like nobody would have ever believed you back then either. Even if you waited 30 years to come out and be like, yeah, well, he did this same thing to me. I think it just took for Cassie to come out and be brave and be like, by the way, y'all, Diddy's really a monster, but nobody had the balls to come out and actually say like, hey, this was going on. This is probably why it took so long. But I feel like if you wait so long, it's like it almost kind of legitimizes like your story. So it's like, did you come here for the money or did you come here because you really like wanted to see some justice?
I can say, as a person who has experienced domestic violence and also too sexual assault, like you said, there is no real timeline on healing, and healing is continuous. However, there are people who unfortunately don't make it as easy to come forth and actually speak your truth. And even sometimes the circumstances, or whether it be the person who was the abuser, what power stretch that they have, it makes it even harder to speak out, because sometimes you may feel like you're already up against a fight you're not going to win. So if it would be, for example, if it is hypothetically a situation with Diddy allegedly, his power stretches so far, you may or may not be able to, if someone said it, like Fiji said, someone said it back then, if you said it back then, or if you even said it now, sometimes depending on like their power and their reach that they have with people, they may not believe you. It's also too how when people can still portray themselves as one individual in front of everybody else, but then when you're behind closed doors, it's something completely different when you're dealing with that person and whatever issues that they have going on when they're not in the limelight.
So listen, for those of you all who are on YouTube, sorry, Mike, real quick. For those of you all who are on YouTube, make sure y'all take part in the poll. We want to know what y'all think. Should there be a statute of limitations on sexual assault? One of the answers is yes. One of the answers is no. We want to know what y'all think, man. Make sure y'all give us y'all opinions on that. Y'all is going to help us as we continue to push. Let's talk about it Tuesday. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, if I don't think there should be a statute of limitation on, like, if it was a kid. No, that's just open. I also don't think you should be able to sue if you asked for money before. I don't think, because
explain it. What do you mean if you ask for money?
Yeah, explain that.
So for instance, before Cassie came out, she had been asking Diddy for 6 months. She had been asking Diddy for $30 million. Had Diddy paid her, this would not be happening. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, now it's like, it's not about stopping him. It's not about bringing to light that there's this monster in Hollywood. It's not about that. It's about, I wanted some money, he didn't give it to me, so I'm gonna get it another way and make his life hell while I'm doing it.
So you think that's what it was?
Yeah, because for her, because when she first came out, it was like, oh, well, I wanted to be the brave one. I wanted to be a voice for people who, you know what I'm saying, couldn't do this and couldn't do that. But they ended up settling out of court. You know what I'm saying? So she got paid and she shut up.
But she, you know what though? She probably only took them. Well, I think a general stance on this is that she took the money so she could protect her family. And while I think that's still a true statement, I really wish she would have just kept going to court on this and like really like took him down. But she probably thought she was gonna get off next.
Protect her family from what?
Well, so we don't know if these rumors are true, but like he's been tied to everybody's death. Kim Porter, Biggie, Pac. He was tied to Keefe D going to jail. Like
allegedly, we gotta say allegedly.
Allegedly, yes, allegedly.
So we don't get canceled.
Right. Yeah.
Second Lives would be shut down and shit.
Right.
Allegedly, you know.
All right.
We don't know if it's true or not, but yes, like they think that he's been tied to all these different things, and it's like, you know, maybe Cassie knows something that we don't. Like maybe he did. We don't know for sure, but maybe she thought the same thing might happen to her.
Okay, Mike. Let's do this. let's end the Instagram live and then let's go live on TikTok.
Got you.
All right.
But and the crazy thing is, I can agree with that. But the problem with that sentiment is if I thought, you know what I'm saying, something was going to happen to my family like that, I probably wouldn't have came out in the first place.
That's you though.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm speaking just specifically from Mike's, you know what I'm saying, from Mike's standpoint, because you think about it, if his reach is really like that, right? Which they do say Diddy's reach is pretty far.
Yep.
Me accusing you is going to shine a spotlight on it that you don't want in the first. Like me bringing that to light and putting it on paper is already going to put me and whoever you want in the crosshairs. So at this point in time, you know what I'm saying? Like once I decide to go forward with it, ain't nobody safe because now it's out there. Like they said, like everybody said that she did it to put blood in the water. So now all of these other people are coming out and make like she done made it easy to, not easy, but she didn't show that Diddy's touchable. Cool, I get that. But like you said, I wish like if her statement that she put out in the beginning, like, oh, I want to be a brave face, if that was really the desire, you didn't already put everybody around you in the crosshairs. You may as well make it worth something. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as they settled out of court, she got the money that she'd been asking for.
But I think also too with the court proceedings that depending on whatever is stated in the court, there are sometimes stipulations that you cannot no longer publicly talk about these things or even
100%.
settlement. So while she's quiet and things of that nature, we don't know exactly completely the entirety of what was settled, but those are stipulations that can be within a contract pending settlement.
Oh, I 100% agree. I have no doubt that Diddy put an NDA in that stipulation. Like I have no doubt about that. You know what I'm saying?
It would be foolish not to put an NDA.
Right, not to. But I'm just saying, like, if this was the goal and not just the money, then you would assume that it wasn't necessarily worth it to take the money and then sign an NDA. You would assume, or I would assume. But right. If it was like it from what we know, from what I know personally, and there may be things that I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I'm going off of just what I know. If I'm asking for money before and willing not to come forward before, then I don't get the money. Then I come forward. Then you give me the money and ask me to be quiet. And I'm like, cool, as long as I got the money. What was the motivation?
I think another question that can be raised is when you were saying, like, sometimes, like, depending on what the money was, it's the amount of pain and suffering allegedly the victim goes through. At what price do you put on someone's pain and suffering? And that's anybody.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And for anybody to say that this is what I'm coming, like he's caused this much and this much pain and blah blah blah, 100%. I agree with that. I feel like you should recoup your pain and suffering because you know what I'm saying? Who knows how much your therapy has costed? Who knows what kind of rebuilding in your life you had to do? 100%. You know what I mean? But I have a problem with coming out, putting on a face of like, I'm trying to be a brave face for women, but then taking it and being like, all right, y'all.
Peace. Got my bread. I'm out of here.
You know what I'm saying? That's just my thing.
Mike, are you live on TikTok?
It's loading up now.
Loading up. Okay. Go ahead, Storm.
Okay, so I gotta preface this with a picture because I'm gonna tell you where I'm coming from. So I don't know. Oh, that's the wrong one. Well, either one. Okay, can you see that picture?
That's very bright.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you can see it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's me and one of our radio personalities. I was the promotions assistant promotions director and promotions coordinator for a very long time at Z1079 in Cleveland. And so I'm just coming from a whole different standpoint. When you see individuals that are in the music business, the ones starting out, that's so bad want to be a part of that world. You know, they get promised they're going to be a famous artist. They get promised that they, you know, you're gonna rock like Diddy. You're gonna do all these things, going from street team to radio station and seeing all these things. So they get promised the world. I'm gonna make you a star. I'm gonna, you know, you're gonna roll in cars like this if you do this. So it was a nature of the business. If you do this, yo, you're going to do all these things. And so then you find yourself, they find themselves doing things that they wouldn't necessarily do because they were promised certain things. And any woman out there that has ever been through a mental or physical, verbal, abusive situation, a lot of times you don't even know you're in that situation. You are, you know, you're like, but he loves me. Oh, but he's gonna make me this big star. Oh, I'm, you know, traveling on tour buses. I'm jetting here and there. I'm standing backstage with my backstage pass, and I'm singing and I'm doing all this. And you get so far, and then you start to realize, yo, this is happening. You know how you see on TikTok all those people talk, the rappers are starting to talk about that room. You know, they want you to go into that room, or they want you to go to that party.
That next
and
level.
It's like, even being in like you talk about Puffy with the NDA and stuff like that, even being in radio, you see some stuff that you're like, I wish I never would have saw that. And I'm never going to say anything about it because I wish I never saw that. So it's like when you're looking at Cassie, I get what some people are saying, like, oh, she's coming out of the blue, you know, and she's getting money. I need you to understand. Well, no, I mean, I need people to just think on the other side of that. When Cassie came to our radio station, you know what the rep told us? Pulled us in the office and said, don't ask her to sing. What you mean, don't ask her to sing?
I think that was Diddy request, probably.
And left it alone.
Is that what she here for? Ain't that what she here for?
It's like, so you're gassing this girl up and you're doing all these things and you got her, you know, she's going to be this big stuff. You don't know what happened through that. You do know, though, that Jennifer Lopez was rolling really, really tight with Diddy. And then all of a sudden she wasn't, because her people were like, get out, run as fast as you can. And what did she do?
He was
Right, she did. But see, that's it.
Relationship,
but see, that's just the thing. Like, I see it's almost like, and this is why this is one of the reasons why I don't necessarily condemn Cassie for coming out and saying what she said. I don't like how quickly she disappeared with it, right? Because I don't think Diddy is an angel by any means, right?
What you mean by disappear? Say it. What you mean?
Like I mean, like she was like, here, hey, I'm fighting for the women and I'm fighting for this justice, and then she got her money and was like, cool.
But did she say that though?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
And Mike, you also, like, I know that people think that Jaguar Wright is crazy as a box of rocks, but let's think about it, Mike. Did Cassie do that, get her money, be quiet, or did somebody say, here's this money and you just need to take it? Because if you don't, that's what I was about to say, because like I said, there's a lot, like Fiji said, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about. I'm just saying from this perspective, you know what I'm saying? There was no, it felt like there was no pushback against the hush money, right? But like I said, Diddy's reach is long, and it might have been like, you know what? I thought I could win, but this battle's not worth it, which is, you know what I mean? First law of humanity is self-preservation. I get it, right? And I'm saying that because I feel like Diddy is almost, he treats these people almost like a drug dealer. He give you the good shit right off the rip.
Allegedly.
Boom, get you hooked.
Allegedly.
Huh? Oh, allegedly. Right.
And we're really acting like right now he's public enemy number one. But do you know how many people?
Right, no, because like we watched it, we've watched what he did to like Danity Kane, Day 26. Like, he gets you there, put you in front of the cameras, and then be like, all right, nah. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? Some hustlers will be like, all right, cool, you could walk away. You just can't take what I'm giving you no more. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving you all of this stuff to feed you in this life. You want to walk away from this life? All right, cool. But by that time, you're hooked already.
But
You know what I'm saying?
And I get I get that. And I get, whatever Diddy did, you got to answer for whatever you did. But you know how many Diddies there are out there? How many non-African American Diddies there are out there? Do you know how many? You see what I'm saying? So it's like Diddy's the focal point right now. So he is the one, and
So
but a lot.
Here's the thing. It's out there with Diddy. It's out there. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other people who would probably and could probably fall into that same category. We don't know. We'll just have to kind of keep our ears to the streets and kind of see what comes up next. All right. So look, next thing we got is and this again, this is something that we've probably talked about before. But just says, excuse me, would you rather know when you're gonna die or how you're gonna die?
Neither.
Amen.
Is that an option? Like, yeah, is neither an option?
Neither.
I would rather just die. Like, do I have to pick one? Because like, if you're gonna tell me how I'm gonna die, like if how I'm
stay
gonna
away
die skydiving, then I'm just never gonna go skydiving.
I'm gonna obsess about it. So I say, yeah, never. I don't either.
And then probably I'm just never gonna get on an airplane, because what if something happens to the plane and I have to make the choice of whether I jump out or I stay in, and that is considered skydiving, and now I got to jump out of the plane. I'm just never gonna do it, right? Particularly knowing when I'm gonna die. Like I do not want to be looking at my expiration date. No way in hell. There's nothing beneficial to me about looking at my expiration date. Surprise me.
Yeah, no, because one or two things
Thank you, Lord.
one or two things are going to happen if you know when. Either you're going to obsess over it and you're never going to live fully, or you're just going to start doing wild shit because you know you're not going to die.
Fiji. Wait, Fiji.
I think if I knew like how, I probably would try to avoid it. But like, we've all seen Final Destination, right? So you know how like they all try to avoid like whatever their death was going to be. I think that if you do that, then like, karmic law is going to happen. It's like, well, if you avoid this plane jump, then we're going to push you out of a moving car and you're just going to have to die anyway. So
yeah, I would not. Dag, Jeff.
That's a bad.
that's hard.
But thank you.
That's hard.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, somebody posted it into the group, so we had to, we had to talk about
that
it.
was a great one. Whoever did that, that was
I
great.
think that was wifey. So for those of you who got whoopings as a kid, do you feel like it traumatized you? Were you beat unnecessarily? Looking back, do you think other methods of correction would have worked on you? How do you feel about the spanking? Spare the rod, spare the child.
I want to go last. I'll be right back.
Okay, I want to go first. So my grandmother, and I've told Mike this story. My grandmother was just really mean. Like, she had a lot of her own trauma that she placed onto me. So I don't feel like whooping me was necessary, because I don't think I did everything like completely wrong. I don't like to be hit now as an adult. Like, you hit me, I'm gonna seek further revenge. Like, I'm not about to hit you back. You about to find out some other way from 6 feet under. But nah, like personally, I feel like I was somebody that you could have easily talked to and been like, yo, chill. And I'd have like fully understood that. Talking to Mike, the way he talked to me, I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go chill somewhere. And that's like what my whooping is in my head as an adult. Like, Mike's not mean. He just, I'm saying, he got a real sternness about his demeanor that makes me just want to be like, yeah, you're right, bro. I'm gonna just relinquish that. You got it. But I'm not somebody that you have to hit. You hit me, like I said before, I'm gonna seek revenge.
Y'all gonna stop talking about me like I be trying to do.
About to be surviving Mike Smalls next.
Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to be on the shade room next.
Oh,
You thought he was just smacking your hand down from opening car doors. What he was really doing.
Yeah, right.
If you ever
I want 30 million.
Bite your fingers off.
Listen,
I'm traumatized. I want 30 million.
Look, let Storm tell y'all the story about when she walked away from me after the club. You would have think I yoked her up. Like,
You did. With your words.
but I did. I was down the block.
Storm was like, huh? Her
Y'all,
whole face was just like
people start walking in slow motion. They was like, they was feeling bad for me. But go ahead.
I think being whooped as a child, it didn't traumatize me. It scared me from doing a lot of things, I think, in a positive and negative way. But I would probably say in a more positive way. Were there other methods? I think, yeah, there were other methods that could have been used, but I don't know if they would have been as effective because I was a really adventurous, I'm going to say it like that. I was a really adventurous child. And, you know, sometimes you test your limits a little bit. And so, you know, when there's a certain level of pain and consequence associated with testing certain limits, I think it prevents you from desiring to test those limits. So that was the reason why I got whooped. And I can't say definitively that I deserved a whooping for certain things that I did or I didn't deserve them. I will definitely say though, it probably prevented me like from doing certain things, but not other things. If you told me, you know what I'm saying, don't play with a gun, I wasn't gonna play with a gun, but that didn't mean that I wasn't gonna play with a knife.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Because you never said knife.
Oh, you that kid.
you were
that one.
That kid.
You were
never
that
said knife.
Wait a minute,
Oh,
Mike. You that kid too, low key a little bit.
No, listen.
Jeff's like, don't jump off the roof. Oh, okay. Well, let me just play in traffic. Like, no.
So
hey, you know what I'm saying? Because you never said that.
So
what you said was.
So I'm gonna tell you this. My personality probably was like that, but I never really rebelled like that because I always had brothers and sisters. So it was always like, all right, if I would get in trouble for doing something that technically wasn't that bad, but I would get even more trouble because it was like, yo, your brothers and sisters are watching this. Like, you might have got away with this, you might have did this, but as soon as they try it, they're gonna get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I always looked at it like, all right, cool. You know what? I'm not gonna do this because Shannon, Denny was always right up under me. Nelly, she was too young, but you know what I mean? It's like, and I can't go do this because if I do this and then they do this and then they tell on me, they gonna snitch and I'm gonna get even more trouble. So like, I would chill it. But spankings, they didn't traumatize me. They definitely scared me in a way until I got too old. Now, one thing I did learn when I was in ROTC from my uncle was either you're going to be smart or you're going to be strong. And I always say, like, this is how I want to discipline my kids. It's like spanking pain goes away in an hour or two. You know what I'm saying? You might be mad, but spanking pain goes away in an hour or two. Unless you got the switch. Then them whelps lasted a couple days. But workout pain will last all week. You know what I'm saying? You ever like your teacher ever made you like write on a chalkboard 100 times like I will not talk during class, or write down I will not talk during class? You know what I'm saying? Like writing, after a while your hands start cramping. Imagine doing wall sits while holding books or holding weights, you know what I'm saying, for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like your legs are going to be so sore that the next time you think about doing something, you can be like, it's not worth it, because that pain lasts all week. That pain will last all week. You know what I'm saying? I always said that, like, yo, when I punish my kids, if I say you're grounded, you're gonna have the ability to determine how long you're grounded. I might be like, okay, well, you didn't do well in school, or you disobeyed me, or you disobeyed your mom. Cool. You had 500 push-ups. You can only do 150 push-ups a day, and all 150 have to be done in front of me, and I have to count them out for you. So if you do them wrong, it's not right. You understand what doing 100 push-ups straight would do. Now, say the next day you don't want to do no push-ups, go to your room. You're grounded until those 500 push-ups are done. You see what I'm saying? So you have the ability to determine how long you're technically grounded for, but you're going to be smart or you're going to be strong. One of the two is fitting to happen. So I ain't going to beat you. You're going to beat yourself up.
I'll say for me, I wasn't like that much of a bad child because I was the middle. So I saw my cousin and my older sister get their asses beat a lot. And then I also saw like my younger ones, them get beat a lot. So for me, I would always look at them just like, I don't want that. So the few times though that I did maybe get a beating here or there, my grandmother or my mom grabbed whatever was near them. So that part was not fun. But I'll at least say that I think it traumatized me in a way where the one that really traumatized me wasn't even my beating. It was me seeing my grandmother, over 60 years old, jack up my 39-year-old aunt at the time because everybody had like aunt that may or a family member who was on drugs or so. She came in high and was like, you don't like me and my children because you black and all of this, and she was agitized and she just kept agitating my grandmother, and my grandma was on a cane at one point, and next thing you know, she was across the table lifting her 2 inches off the ground. To me, that day I had the fear of God and the fear of Dolores. Until this day, I still don't play about my grandmother. I still know she's crazy no matter how fragile or like sick she may be. But my mom, I think my mom like popped me once, I think when I was 20 before I went to Disney World, and it could have just been a conversation. But her and I, it's more, we need to learn how to communicate because we just keep missing it. For me, I think the other part of that is that every child that was in like my family dynamic had to be parented differently. And I think at least the generation after my grandmother started learning that with their children, besides just the overall whooping, because from what my sister did and what I did, like we had to be parented differently. I wish for me, I would have got a little bit more of the emotional availability from my mom, but I understand now as an adult that she didn't have that to give. So she was providing everything else that she could.
I think for me, I was the only child. So you learn very quickly that there's nobody else to blame. So if something happens, you're the one that's going to get it. My mother was a ninja with a switch. So I learned very quickly that I just didn't want that. So I don't think it traumatized me. I think it did what it was supposed to do. Now, raising my daughter, I didn't have to spank her. She didn't like to be embarrassed. So when I would put my finger just right here. Oh, tears would, because she just didn't want that embarrassment. So it's different. I think it's different for every child. Kelsey can count on one hand how many spankings she got because she realized who her grandmother was, just like I realized who my mom was, and she didn't want that smoke, neither did I. But being an educator, you guys, there are so many people that are like, well, I don't want to spank my kid, and I don't think, but there are some kids that if they had that understanding, they would be different children. And I'm not talking, there's a difference between spanking and beating. I'm not talking about, but there are some children that we say in school, you can tell the kid that has never been to church with grandma. Because when you go to church with grandma, you sit still, you're going to sit in that pew. If you don't, she going to pinch that piece of meat that you didn't even know you had, and you better not cry, you better not move, and you better sit there, and then she's gonna give you this peppermint, and you better suck on that peppermint and be quiet. But you learned how to sit still. You learned how to not, when adults are talking, you don't answer anything because it's no, you're just there. Children are to be seen and not heard, and that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. So I think some of these kids nowadays, I don't know what a timeout is. For me, timeout was when I was in the room, like, and trying to catch my breath and talk about her under her breath, and she come by the room like, "What you say? I could give you something to cry about." There's some. So I don't think it's traumatizing. To each its own. But some of y'all got some kids that cuss y'all out, and if you had maybe they wouldn't be cussing you out right now. So I'm just.
Oh no, and that's so true. Like I had a friend. His name was Vince. One of my homies to this day, Italian dude. His family was super welcoming. But I promise you, the first time I ever heard Vince talk back to his mom, I promise you, I thought, I was like, oh, I probably should go because she's about to tear your head off. Right. And it never happened. And I was just so confused. I was like, they invited me I was at dinner with them. I'm dumbfounded. Vince like, you cool? I'm like, bro, I feel like I'm talking to a ghost. Because had that happened at my house, bro, my mom would have cleared the whole block. Like they would have had to call the ambulance to come get me out of whatever position my mom put me. Like, I'm telling you, they would have found pieces of me in Wilkinsburg, Homewood, East Liberty. But you're just sitting here like you pay bills in this mother. Like,
and the ones I grew up with used to use the B word. The ones that I grew up with, the non-African American, used to use the B word when they were talking to their mom. Mom, why you being such a?
And they be like, Johnny, don't talk like that. My grandma would have been like,
talk like that,
you want a casket today?
Crazy. All right, y'all. So look, we have reached our time for this evening. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here with us. Thank you to our special guest this evening. We appreciate everybody that's in the YouTube, everybody that participated in the poll. So it looks like there was 67% that said 66% that said no, 33% said yes. There should be a statute of limitations on sexual assault. Man, let us know what y'all think in the comments. While y'all are here, we want you to like, comment, and subscribe. Please don't be afraid to do that, man. We appreciate every single last one of y'all for working with us as we transition over onto the new platform, man. Y'all are super dope. Y'all are super amazing. So what we're going to do is now we're going to start releasing some of the different videos from last week as well as this week. Now that we have everything situated and squared away. So y'all are going to see a lot more Let's Talk About It Tuesday content, not only in Instagram, but on TikTok and the YouTube shorts. Y'all are going to see all of it because y'all make this happen, man. We appreciate y'all. Listen, go and send this live to one of your friends, one of your homies, one of your sister cousins, one of your brothers, one of your real sisters, one of your nieces, nephews, your aunties, your uncles, your grandma, your grandpa that's sitting at home right now, retired, that's not doing nothing, and they just want to listen to something because you're going to send them everything anyway. It don't even matter. We want to make sure that we are sending this to every single last one of them, man. Y'all know my motto, always stay in your bag, so you never got to chase a bag. And as always, my man Mike Smalls is going to take us out.
Bro, I can't thank y'all enough for being here. Like, this has been amazing. We making this transition and it's running smoother than I thought it was going to run for the second week out the gate. You know what I'm saying? So we doing the thing. Y'all are just proving again, you know what I'm saying? The winner circle and the empire just being the engine to the vehicle that's pushing us to greatness. But with that being said, I love all of y'all because y'all deserve to be loved. Progress don't start until you feel like you should stop, and ignorance can't exist if you have sapio-like senses, because knowledge is a choice.